Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galley La Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about episodes 41 and 42 of Jujutsu Kaisen. And please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content, and hopefully, we'll be getting some more content out to you soon. This is Geboss, and the other host is Akainu Fanboy. So, yes. So, Jujutsu Kaisen. These were two episodes as a manga reader that I was dreading, but also looking forward to because of anime-only people's reactions. So, Akainu Fanboy, what was your first reactions to these episodes?
My first answer should have been like, okay, well, they're named the same episode, so that's not good. Part one, part two.
Yeah.
I thought, Nanami being in bad health wasn't a good sign, and everything. I was sad and surprised that basically Nanami died, because I heard so much he was a fan favorite, I assumed he was going to be in the story longer, basically.
Yeah.
Which obviously wasn't the case. And he dies in a pretty horrific... I mean, he had a good way of going out, killing all those... what are they called? Deformed...
the transfigured humans.
Familiars. Yeah, the transfigured... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was great and everything, but it was just like... It was genuinely a shock. Because I assumed they were all going to get out kind of scotch-free from Jogo's attack and everything, but that didn't happen at all.
Yeah.
From at least what we saw with Nanami, which was really rough to see, even though he had a good arc and everything, and he put in some good work,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I kind of wish he had a good 1v1, where he got in a good kill kind of thing. But, it's fine, though. I thought, I was genuinely really sad to see him die. It was like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think that definitely hurt the most for sure. Because it's kind of funny, my expectation, I think you could listen back to this, was that I was expecting kind of all the side characters to die, not like the more main cast. I did not think they were going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely where it gets into the more like Game of Thrones territory in terms of killing off characters. But yeah.
I thought like Ino would die or Mei was the other one. So I thought like they were more likely to die than like Nanami, for example.
Yeah. Well, Mei's fighting fake Ghetto right now, so we'll have to see what the outcome of that is. But yeah,
I thought there'd be a lot of deaths, but not this much. Like I mean, not these important characters.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know the status of Maki after getting hit with Jogo's fire either.
Mm-hmm.
Or Naruto.
Or Panda.
Yeah, or Panda or Kusakabe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Inumaki. Like, there's a lot that we don't know. But yeah, Nanami, I think, if I remember correctly, Nanami was the author's favorite character. Which...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of... is surprising that he went out the way he did, and yeah, it's relatively early in the story that he went out compared to other shonen characters where the mentor character, because I consider Nanami to be more of a mentor character. He fulfills the mentor role more than Gojo does to Yuji.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially that hits hard, like Yuji rounding the corner and he sees Mahito and Nanami. But
and I think he has more like a pure conscience in a way. I mean, Gojo's a good guy, don't get me wrong. It's just like I think he did it to help people, and he definitely cares about his compatriots a lot, He's a very noble person.
Yeah.
And I guess the way he went out, I mean, he had a good dev, like, in terms of storytelling, but it was still, like, undignified not like because it was just like such a brutal way to go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a peaceful death. It was kind of sacrificial, like he died in line of duty, but he didn't give up his life to save somebody else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He went down fighting, you know what I mean? So it was kind of a tragic death, I'd say, you know.
Yeah. Well, I would say that it's kind of a it's kind of a noble death in a way, because there's the whole thing where he's like hallucinating that Haibara from the flashback is there, and he's saying, no, I can't say that to Yuji, it'll curse him. But the way that I always read that scene with when he says you take it from here, like that kind of drives Yuji to kind of out of his funk, because like he's still getting over the whole Sukuna thing, like
yeah,
he's wallowing in that in a way, and this kind of gets him focused on what he needs to do, because he's still able to. That's how,
because part of the whole thing was he was too weak, which then activated Sukuna, because like he was KO'd and then the two girls took over, and to give him the beakers, right? So his weakness helped contribute it to a lot of this, you know.
Yeah.
Not to Nanami's death, you know, that was just, you know, a bad issue, you know.
I will say that
yeah,
I vastly preferred the way he went out in the anime compared to the manga, because like that whole the whole part with him cutting down all the transfigured humans and him like hallucinating that he's in Malaysia and everything on the beach, that's all anime original. Like in the manga it's just like 2 pages of him cutting through the humans and then Mahito comes up.
Yeah, I actually loved how the anime did it, because they did a great job with that.
Yeah, and it shows like if he had taken that route, like there was the flashback in the first season of how he went back to being a Jujutsu sorcerer, with the bakery girl, that kind of motivated him. And if he had just stayed at his office job, he probably would have been at that point, but he wouldn't be able to save people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think he is kind of a tragic character in that sense.
Yeah, it was hard to watch, because I did appreciate him, like him as a character and everything, you know. So, you know, the fights were epic, very well animated, but I think I liked these episodes better just because I think it was just really good storytelling, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of give more grief, I think, to Gojo. Like, I think he's more responsible for some of this. I mean, it's not his fault per se, but it's like, I think like one point you could say is from this arc is like, this is what the world looks like without Gojo, you know?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They can't handle it, you know?
Yeah, he was kind of the cornerstone, keeping everything in balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, hard, tragic, and should we move on to episode 43? Because like it was roughly just kind of the fights, and I don't think the fight had like the craziest animation, but I think the emotional impact made up for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's the one part where like he's mocking Yuji because he makes like the puppet of Junpei, and stabs it through the head and says that to Yuji that they're basically the same, in a way, which Yuji doesn't really understand. But I mean, Mahito is the essence of the evil of humanity. So in a way, he is him.
Yeah, he's definitely the most messed up out of all the spirits for sure.
Yeah,
you know, he's just like an absolute monster, and kind of hard to say which one's more messed up, Sukuna or him at this point. You know.
Well, I think I think Sukuna just doesn't really care. Like who he's killing or anything, but Mahito like specifically has it out for Yuji. Like, what can I do to cause him the most emotional damage? Like we see at the end of the episode when Nobara shows up, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill her and drag her corpse in front of him to break him."
I think Mechamaru should have been focused, so Yuji wouldn't have had to have dealt with this whole thing, you know. So
I know. It's all Mechamaru.
I think a lot more people. Well, yeah, obviously because he betrayed, but I think he theoretically could have killed him if he was more focused, you know.
Yes.
Because they imply that like he was at that level where he was getting enough hits in, you know.
Yeah.
Can I bring up a point that's probably gonna trigger a lot of people?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, but first like and subscribe if you have not. That's it. No, one contrast. I mean, okay, I could say this is kind of like a fanboy trolling thing, but I think it's actually like a legitimate point at the same time. Yuta saved all of his friends. No one died under his watch. But Yuji didn't.
Okay.
You know, like,
yeah.
Let's just be real. I mean, like, do you think this is fair to say Geto alive but stronger than sorry, I'm blanking on the spirit's name right now. Oh my gosh,
Mahito.
Yeah, would you say Geto alive is stronger than Mahito here?
That's an interesting debate, because Mahito, I mean, Geto has all his curse spirits that he could have drawn upon, but he kind of used them all for the Uzumaki attack. So, yeah, if he brought out more stuff like when he was younger versus the fight with Toji, I don't know, because I mean, at the same time, I think Mahito is stronger than when he was like getting jumped by Nanami and Yuji. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard someone bring that up. But I think,
and I'm not just saying it for like. Oh, sorry, go.
Oh well, I would think my gut would say like again, it's hard to say, but I think my gut would say Geto. But Mahito's ability is a really powerful thing because he can basically one-shot people. So
yeah, and no, totally. And I'm not saying it just purely as a power level point, but I'm saying, how can I say this? Yuta was fighting, let's just say, at least a comparable opponent, right, in power and things, you know. And Yuta has more of his shit together at that point in the story too. Even though he just sees all of his friends like dead, roughly in his eyes at least, he thinks they're dead when he shows up, you know. And he's able to get control of Rika, conquer his demons, and I think like character growth and everything, he's able to like accelerate so much quicker, you know, and take control of the situation, and he saves all of his friends' lives. But Yuji, on both like a character level, and I guess you could say to an extent a power level too, was too weak to solve the situation, you know, because he's just had two loved ones just obliterated in front of him, you know. And I do know, I mean, I'm not really well read on the power levels here, but Geto did have like all those like saved up cursed spirits for his final attack at the end, and he still came out on top. Yeah, Yuta did, you know. So I don't know. I mean, because I always like comparing them, you know, because I think they're interesting and unique and stuff. But it is fascinating that Yuta. I don't know. It is because like you can say like I'm blanking. It was like I'm blanking on the name of the event in the movie, but you could say it's comparable to this arc, right? In terms of the scale of the fight, you know.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think it's called like the Night of 100 or 1,000 curses or whatever it was. Yeah.
So you could say like the event's comparable, the opponents are comparable, right? and Yuta was still able to kind of save the day, you know, but Yuji just has like failed here, you know. So I don't know if that's like a narrative decision, you know, or so those are just kind of my thoughts there.
Yeah, that's what I think narratively, because like Yuta's whole story in the movie was just the initial like pilot series for before it was even called Jujutsu Kaisen. So I think like on a meta level, like Akutami, the writer, didn't want to like cut and paste like, oh, Yuta is Yuji. So I think him like thinking about like, okay, they're in a similar situation. What would happen if the protagonist, like, everything went wrong with it? Like he, like with Rika, he couldn't like Rika is the equivalent of Sukuna. They couldn't control. Yuji couldn't control it. He couldn't like save his friend, save his mentor. I think narratively, I think that's why it is the way it is. But yeah, it is interesting to compare them because in a way they're sort of like deuter antagonists or deuter protagonists in the way that like one's from the movie and one's from the series. But
yeah, because Yuta had a horrendous upbringing while Yuji had from all accounts, it looks like a pretty good upbringing, you know? I think Yuta had a lot more trauma and demons he was dealing with his life, while Yuji was pretty chill, normal high schooler, you know, things were good, you know? And I think Yuta's been blessed more as he's grown in the series with friends and being loved and having a good sensei. While I think Yuji's life has kind of been getting worse in a lot of ways, and he's been experiencing more trauma, you know?
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know I'm a kind of a Yuta stan, but like because I don't know, the situation just seemed very parallel to the whole Ghetto Yuta situation, you know, with Nobara dying, like compared to Maki, for example, you know. Yeah.
I mean, Maki could be dead. She could just have been off screen.
Yeah, that's Yuji's fault too, bro.
No,
everything's his fault.
Yeah, sure.
I was just like, bro, Yuji, take over the series, bro. This guy's not, you know, he's not making it work, bro. Get in, you know.
Okay.
Tap out, bro. Tap
out. So, since we brought it up, let's talk about the Nobara episode 42. So, before we get into the Nobara part, I just want to say, I don't know how many times I've rewatched the beatdown that Yuji gave Mahito after Nobara's attack landed and like stunned him. Like that animation was it's so good. It's so satisfying to see that beatdown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we see like Nobara can directly affect the soul like Yuji can. Which like I don't know. It's kind of I thought that would be in the last episode to kind of build it up because I don't know, it's introduced in this episode and then at the end of episode the end of the episode Nobara like dies. So I think narratively they could have done that a little bit better, but it is what it is. But yeah, what do you think of like Nobara overall? Like I've seen so many people say like she's like an actually good female character, unlike let's say Sakura from Naruto.
Of course we go to there, but yeah, like I agree and I encourage you in that slander. So continue, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She's always just so. She's like a strong female character who's actually strong and not like the fake ones that like certain TV and movies prop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed her for that. But
yeah, like me personally, I like Maki better personally, but
Oh yeah,
I still think she was like a
too.
really well-written, unique. Yeah, but I still think she's like a well-written, unique character, and like she still like has a personality of like you know, a feminine female character, but like she's still like kind of strong. You know what I mean? So like it's kind of it's a good balance to have there. While now in terms of her death, I didn't see that coming. Now that I think Nanami, I was kind of like, I can kind of see it theoretically. Her, no, that was like out of the cards. Like that was like, oh my gosh, you know?
Yeah.
Especially as a One Piece stan. I mean, look, Hunter x Hunter didn't even go that far.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, because I'm getting like, pop, you know, just dead like that. You know, like that shit did not happen. Especially, it just seems so, like, she put in work, don't get me wrong, but it was just so, like, casual, too. I just touch your face. It's over.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you kind of saw, like, in season 1, where Mahito was fighting Nanami and he touched him, but he had enough cursed energy to resist it. So, just seeing that, and that kind of draws in the discussion from the episode where Nanami saved Nobara, because she was saying when he was like wailing on the hand sword guy, Haruta, whatever his name is, but when he was doing that, like Nobara was saying like, oh, this is a grade 1 sorcerer. Like she was up for like a placement in grade 1, but like it shows like the gap there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this is always like, because I've watched some people like review the series or talk about the chapters. I've gone back and watched this specific part, and all of them are like shocked, like it just happened like so fast. And
so fast. But it was like meaningful though, like to like contra again Hunter x Hunter, meaningful death though. Like I was like, I thought the flashback was well put, and I think I liked her character enough. And Mahito is so evil, where it's like believable, you know, and you know, like everything flowed in a logical consequence way. Nothing felt out of place. It didn't feel like nihilistic, where I had no feeling towards anything. It was good. It was all natural to the story. The fact that Ino survives and she dies is something I would not have predicted from this arc. You know? Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the flashback. Because, I mean, they basically copied it 1 for 1 from the manga, but I don't know. I feel that having the flashback, like, right as they're dying, what do you think about that? Does that kind of lessen the character in a way? Because I feel like the reveal, like, this could have been revealed a little bit earlier, like, we got to know a little bit more about her character instead of right before she dies. And then
I would have done it. Yeah.
And then we get like the scene like where she's like remembering her friends and everything, and the other friend who she grew up with. Like that scene could have been here like as a reminder. But yeah, I kind of feel like it came out of nowhere, because I did look it up before. Like there was a brief like flashback in season 1 showing these characters, but it wasn't really addressed until now. So yeah, I don't know how I really feel about that. I guess kind of negative, but yeah.
I would have preferred if they showed it at the beginning of the arc, because I kind of felt like it took out the intensity here. And where One Piece stands, so in terms of flashbacks, it was good for the series, but in terms of like what we're used to in terms of flashbacks from One Piece, it didn't hit that hard, you know? So
I mean we're in the middle of like one of the best flashbacks in the series right now, so
yeah. That's maybe one poll question I want to do is, do you think One Piece is the best anime flashbacks? And It's probably yeah for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like this flashback. Yeah, I kind of felt like it was in an awkward place and it took away. It didn't add really, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think if they just like let her die that way, it would have been better. Just without the flashback here, you know. Especially kind of get introduced to this new lady too. That's like a reporter, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, why are we getting introduced to her now? You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did like the line where it says, "I wonder where she's up to now," and then it just shows her like holding her face, like I'm gonna die, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and her last line saying, you know, it's been like what roughly? What was it? It's been fun, or
yeah. I've seen different translation, like life's been good, or life's not been so bad, or it's been fun. But yeah. But yeah, and her face explodes. So
Yuji, bro. Yuji.
Oh yeah, at the end where he just says like Kugisaki, like he can't believe what he just saw. It's oh god. Like
yeah.
Let this boy like have some peace right now. He is just
like, bro, I'm saying like go to the line, be like Yuta, just, you know, sub. I need a sub right now, bro. You need the takeover.
Yeah, he'll show up with Miguel.
Miguel,
gonna be the new Gojo.
Yeah, Miguel will take over. Miguel will take over here, bro. Like, I mean, like, you know, going back to our point though, like he's experiencing now what Yuta did when he was growing up as a kid. You know, right? Just pure, unadulterated trauma and pain. So they're inverses of each other in terms of their character development and timeline. You know, and you know, I like look Yuji having a great childhood. That's awesome, and I think that's really cool and different because most like Naruto or all these other shonen characters, they tend to have really bad childhoods growing up and stuff. But you know, I like that he had a good childhood. You know, but now he's getting the negative part. You know, so.
Yeah.
I do like the variety of that, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I was really looking forward to having you watch these episodes because it's like bam, one right after another. Like yeah. But
yeah, like for Nanami, he wanted my reaction and Geboss did, and I just texted a sad face with no context, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I was just sad, you know?
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah.
I thought you were going through something, like, in real life.
No,
and you were
bro,
like, no, it's just
Nanami,
Nanami. And I'm like, oh, I get it. I totally get it.
So that was my reaction, was sad, and then with Nobara, it was more shock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, if it, just the initial... yeah, with the exception of the placement of that flashback, both really good devs, both really well done.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are final thoughts.
Yeah, everyone just write a petition for JJK High to get Yuta over there to save the series, because when you have the MC and Gojo out of commission and now Nanami's gone, bro, there's no one left. There's no one left.
Yeah.
So, you know, we need Yuta. Yeah, you know, but in all seriousness, now great episodes. Please like and subscribe if you're not. Leave your comments below. And thanks for listening, everyone. And hopefully we can get out some One Piece content later this week, since we're on break, if I remember correctly.
No,
so,
I think we are.
Oh, we are not? Okay, then we'll just review the chapter then. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good too. I prefer that.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts?
No. All I'll say is that if the animation keeps up and the animators aren't like literally dying, I think the next episodes will be even better than these ones. So yeah.
Let's go.
Besides that, take care, everyone.